what's up everyone? Hope you guys are all doing well. In today's video, we're taking a look at the Nitro Santoku snowboard. I've been wanting to try this one for a long time, so stoked to finally get on it. I rode it in a 159 out at Copper, and we're gonna go over all the tech and specs, and I'll share my thoughts on how it felt out on snow as well. Let's talk about it. All right, so I looked it up, and in Japanese, Santoku means general purpose knife. That's a really fitting name for this board because this is an all-mountain freestyle board from Nitro. It's a true twin, and it's designed as a do-it-all snowboard for the freestyle focused rider. So whether you're looking to get in the powder, spend some time in the backcountry, explore the resort, or get some park laps going, this board is designed to be able to tackle all that and be a lot of fun while you're doing it. There's not a whole lot of technical jargon to break down in this snowboard, but let's go through the design real quick. So this is a true positive camber snowboard. From contact point to contact point, that widest point in the nose and widest point in the tail where you get most of your control, it's full positive camber. So that camber profile is known to give you a little bit more of an energetic, precise feel, and that's what you're gonna find here in the Santoku. It's a true twin, so it's perfectly symmetrical, gonna ride exactly the same in either direction. And it runs a sintered base. So that's a little bit of a more expensive base material. It's harder, faster, and more durable compared to an extruded base, but you do wanna make sure to wax this board regularly to keep that nice glide that you're used to going. But it does have a nice smooth glide out there. It also has a little bit of carbon built into it. It's got Nitro's diamond carbon laminates. So that's just gonna help give this board a little bit more energy and a little bit more pop without really increasing the weight or changing the flex as well. But what I think the two most interesting things about this board is actually the overall shape. So while it is a true twin, it has a pretty long nose and tail outside the contact points. So when you do take this board in soft snow or you find yourself on a powder day, you're gonna have a lot more surface area outside those contact points to help float. And that combined with the flex, I think set this board in that more elusive powder twin category. This is actually a very soft flexing snowboard, definitely on the softer side of medium, and you can really lean into the nose and tail and get some solid flex out of this, whether you're trying to do presses on rails in the park or do butter tricks. But it actually is gonna be helpful in powder as well because you know, when you are in soft snow, you're using the entire length of the board from the tip of the nose to the tip of the tail. And with that added surface area combined with the soft flex, it's gonna make it much easier for that nose to bend and plane up on top of the powder, helping you float. And that's also gonna come in handy for landing drops into powder, allowing that nose and tail to flex up more easily and just help you shoot back up on top of the snow rather than power through it and sink down in, just making you work harder not to catch that front leg and start tomahawking or anything like that. To be fair, I did not have a super deep day to test this board out, but found about 4 to 8 inches out in the back bowls at Copper, and it was somewhat variable, but the Santoku handled it really well. I wouldn't say that it's a charger when it comes to choppy variable snow, but it is a little bit stiffer torsionally than it is long way. So that's gonna help prevent you from getting bucked around and help blast through that chunder and that choppy snow a little bit better. But overall, I would say this board definitely has a more playful feel to it. You know, especially considering that I rode the 159. For reference guys, I weigh around 150 pounds, I'm 5'10", and I still found the flex on this board to be on the softer side of medium. So it's definitely a very manageable snowboard, and if I was gonna buy it, I would get the 159. I wouldn't size down to the 56 unless I really wanted something that was super playful and buttery for more park freestyle focused riding, but I think for all mountain freestyle, I'd go for the 59 for sure. For carving, the Santoku did have a really good feel to it. It held onto turns well, it was comfortable at slow speeds, and probably the most fun at more moderate speeds. Once you start to go really fast and push it, it can definitely get overpowered and start to chatter out on you. You know, one thing to consider with that longer nose and tail, while that is a nice benefit in powder for a true twin, it does reduce the effective edge. So the actual amount of the edge that you're using on Hardpack, which is the amount between the two contact points, is quite a bit shorter compared to other boards this size, to be honest. So it rides like a much smaller board on Hardpack. It has a nice maneuverable feel to it, and it's really not that difficult to control. You know, for someone my height and weight, a 159 is usually a pretty overpowering board, but that combination of the flex and that shorter effective edge actually make this board very manageable. If you're the type of rider that likes butter tricks and goes out there trying to get really tall presses, the Santoku is going to be able to offer that as well. Has a really nice flex zone right inside your feet. You can get some really great flex out of this board. And because of that, you can really load up a lot of tension in the board as well and try to maximize the snap and energy that you get out of that camber profile. It doesn't give everything back that you put into it when you load it up, but it's got some pretty decent pop. This is definitely going to be a fun board to take into the park as well. It's an interesting combination with that length and the softer flex. It's not a bad all-around park board whether you're trying to hit rails or jumps, but just keep in mind it does fall on the more playful side of the spectrum, so it's definitely not a charger going for the biggest features in those high impact situations. And I'd also keep in mind that long nose and tail outside the contact points, so you're not clipping up on the takeoff on jumps or coming onto rails or anything like that. But this is not a board I would hesitate to take into the park. It's going to be a great all-around freestyle board whether you are in the terrain park or just out there trying to find natural features. This board's going to come through for you. And having said all that, I think that the biggest highlights for me with the Santoku is that flex, giving it that overall more playful feel, just a very easy to control, pressable, playful snowboard. Combined with the maneuverability, that shorter effective edge makes this board ride and feel like a much smaller snowboard, which is a lot of fun on hardpack and in the park, gonna help you out in trees as well or any situation where you're trying to turn very quickly. And I think as far as the marketing goes, Nitro pretty much nailed it. This is gonna be a solid do-it-all snowboard for the freestyle focused rider that falls on the more playful side of the spectrum. I wouldn't say this is a beginner board, but if you're a more intermediate or experienced rider, I think you're gonna have a lot of fun on this thing. So if any of this sounds like something you're interested in, definitely check out the Nitro Santoku. I'm gonna have it linked down in the description below if you'd like to read more about it. And if you've had the chance to ride it, please drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think about it. If you feel like I left anything out or you just have something to add. If you got some value out of this video, please make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel for more snowboard reviews. I really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in a new one soon. Later, guys.